अज्ञातिमिरस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण। When there is a real humility, humility comes when we understand that I don't have Lord with me. So that is where a living entity feels very humble. Oh, I don't have Lord with me. I want Lord. And then he really feels like a child when mother gives a toy. Then child feels, no, I don't want toy. I want mother only. That is, then there is humility for a living entity only when he realizes that I don't have Supreme Lord with me. Otherwise, the living entity is very proud in this world. He thinks, oh, I already know so much. I already have so much in this world. Then there is no chance of humility. This is the difference. People, it is not people when they hear about humility, they think it is also another thing of like pride only. It is an another aspect of pride for them, but it is not like this. It is not like generally what happens is living entity now they want to be number one in all the cases. So even in spiritual life also we want to be number one. So if I could not make it in the dog, let me make it from the dog. Humility is not some kind of artificial state. Some people think humility is also part of false ego. I have such a ego, and now I am having a humble false ego. But the false ego with which each of us come here, the false ego is the reward from God. This is actually He gave us. It is a medal that is hung on our neck. This false ego. What is that? It makes a person strive to be the best. Whatever we do, we strive for the best. So in the Arab, there is a good saying that when God sent the soul to this earth, before sending, He whispered a secret mantra in the ears. He uh, and asked the soul not to tell anyone. And what he whispered, he said, "You are the best." And the most interesting thing is he whispered the same mantra in everyone's ears. And all living entities remember this. This is called ahankar, the false ego. I want to be the first, by all means, in any circumstances, to be the first, no matter what I do. If I don't do anything else, I'll be first in humility. I'll be the most fallen because nothing else happens. I'll be the most fallen, the most worthless, but most important. Like we know this famous example when Prabhupada, when devotee went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I'm most fallen. Prabhupada said, you are not the most, not even the most fallen. Because just a false ego turned outside, other side. Now the same thing, people try to play some role and succeed in something in the or surpass all others. As long as we play the role, until I become myself, until I understand who am I will not be able to understand anything. So humility is a simple quality. It means knowledge and understanding who I am. And without devotion to God, I absolutely do not represent anything. Like there are so many zeros. This is important understanding. There are so many zeros, and they are growing in size only. So these zeros are growing in size, and we want to increase the size, and we appreciate somebody else is in a bigger size. Sometimes zeros they start bloating and become bigger and bigger and bigger, and then some zeros are too big. And when we see other zero very big, we also think, oh, maybe I should also. This is the problem. What happens is because zero is zero only. A soul without God is nothing. It is incapable of anything by itself. It is a tiny particle of God. And when a soul wants to enjoy, this is a state in which the soul is proud. Because in reality, it can only enjoy its idea about itself. It does not enjoy anything else. This is a very important point. Please try to understand. The soul wants to enjoy, and this is a state in which soul is proud. Because in reality, it can only enjoy its idea about itself. It is not enjoying anything. It's I feel I'm a good preacher, so I can enjoy this aspect of myself. Oh, I'm a preacher. As such, I cannot enjoy anything. I have to imagine that I'm a good preacher, then I'll be able to enjoy it. So this is the method. Like the soul enjoys only when she thinks what we think about ourselves. That only we can enjoy. Sometimes we manage to install the same thing in everyone else also, so that others also will think about them, how big they are, how big the zero they are. There are a lot of small zeros, and there is one big zero. This big zero thinks a lot about itself, and while others think, so I would also like to be so fat like him. But this is all ignorance only. Means the wrong identification is holding us here, and that is also making us proud and not able to understand. It is not humility. As long as I understand who am I, then only it is possible to be humble. You're understanding the word. Because what the people are proud of, the only one thing, what they thought of themselves. That is the point. They just imagine themselves and then they began to be proud. Oh, I am so and so. The idea or this pride that I should enjoy is very, very deep rooted. And sometimes we think that I do not enjoy, that I do not want anything. And unless people, actually, people in goodness, they think they have surpassed all the lower levels. People in mode of passion, they are quite frank. Frank in the sense they want to really overtake all others. They want to be in the top. And they feel it is necessary that they need to be really big. And they ride on everybody else. This is false ego. And this is that means this is another important point. What happens is man want to extend his I to mind, from I to mind. It seems that it seems to him the more mine, the more me has become. I become more and more. Like I'll explain this. There is a like I want to become more and more. I'm growing. I'm expanding indefinitely. I have many houses, many apartments, many wives or husbands, or whatever, children. All these are attempts to somehow spread myself because the nature of soul is what? It is spiritual. It is inherent in the spirit to expand. In Sanskrit, the soul is called Brahman. Brahman means what? Which is expanding. And our little soul want to expand. But the problem is we are identifying ourselves with matter, and then we make this uh, stupid and completely insignificant, helplessly trying to expand with matter. As such, soul need to expand, means we have this tendency to expand, but we are identifying with matter and we expand matter. And while we expand through matter, through our positions and everything else, we completely forget about our true self and get completely confused in all these difficulties. This is the problem. Unless we understand who we are, we cannot come out of the situation only. We try to expand ourselves. How many houses I have, how many apartments, how many this, how many that. I'm expanding in matter because I identifying with matter. I want to grow this zero bigger and bigger. And if we say, oh, be humble, yes, yes, I'm very humble. But that humility also is a expression of our ego only. Only when I understand that I am servant of Krishna, I need Krishna, then only we can become humble. Otherwise, there is no chance of becoming that real humility don't come. Otherwise, it's just manifestation of ego only. Now, people in mode of passion, what do? They are very open. They very clearly, honestly and they formulate their goal of life. They say, I have to prove to everyone that I am the best. This is mode of passion. By any means, any method, people in mode of goodness are very much, not very much cunning. They are quite straightforward. They have the same greed. And actually, in mode of goodness people, they are little cunning in one way. Passionate people are quite open. Cunning in the sense means they also have greed, but they hide it under the shell of goodness. What they do, they all do it disinterestedly. They say, oh, I am disinterested. I am not attached to all these things. And why? They want to hear that glorification. Oh, you are so distant, you are so detached, you are so having so many good qualities. So they want a glorification for what they are doing. So this is in goodness. Like Prabhupada tells, pride is our attempt to chase a false honor. And we ourselves don't know how much we are dependent on it. And like people feel that no, I don't need anything. We will say like that until we are encountered with it. Say like some great soul is in mode of goodness is going. His holiness, this great soul is going, and suddenly he saw somebody dropped his purse, and you saw it, and immediately took it and went to him and gave him. And that person took it and just went away. He didn't even look at your face. He didn't even give a gesture of gratitude. He didn't even say thank you. Then what happens? Immediately, I felt I am very honest. I am very kind person. I am very good. I am giving such and such. And I went to him and I told him, sorry, you have lost your purse. I gave. But can you imagine this person even didn't say thank you also? And we will tell this incident to everyone. And this he didn't say thank you for being such a good person. This is then this hurts. Why it is hurting? Even though I did Nishkam Karma Yoga, but somehow I was expecting something. What that expectation? I felt I didn't have desire, but there is a desire that at least somebody should appreciate me. So this is the people in mode of goodness. They also have it. They also have this expectations. Now it is the problem is an eternal relationship we need to develop with Krishna. Because our false ego, we feel that this type of appreciation and all, it's all from the false ego. What is that? You are the best. In mode of goodness, also, we want to hear this only, even though it is in little disguise, but this attitude is there. You are the best. You have left everything, you have abandoned everything, you have renounced everything, and then Ishwaroham Aham Bhogi. This is and we also feel appreciation. Arey, Roji, I attend every day Bhagavatam class in the morning. I give every day Bhagavatam class in the morning. I tell to people, I give three classes, four classes in a day. And what I expect, oh Broji, you are such a nice, you do so much for the society. This is always there. It is not so easy to get rid of it. Somebody should appreciate how many likes are coming if I post anything and how many people are watching, how many things are happening. This tendency is so subtle, not so subtle when you gross only. Now, if we people are not recommended for initiation, if they are not allowed for some programs or not service, we feel so much offended. And yeah, we feel offended if our name is not there and there is no appreciation for us for the service we have done in the temple, or people are not glorifying when I am doing so much. Now all these tendencies are there. Now uh, there is amanitvam avadvitam. Krishna says knowledge begins with humility, and humility is just an understanding of who I am. This is actually what is humility. To know who I am. If I remember that I am only a tiny bit of spirit and we can never be anything else, and in order to get something from repeating a mantra, I must set myself up to this. That means if I chant, if I want to get benefited from the chanting, I should set myself properly. Without this, there will be nothing else. So Srila Prabhupada explains, Amarittam Adam Vittam means a person tries to prove himself in the material sphere and Adam Vittam tries to manifest the same pride in spiritual sphere also. He begins to engage in spiritual activities and he becomes so-called guru sometimes. So-called guru means preachers, and he is educating so many people around, teaching others. And this is the temptation in the heart also. I want to be preacher. Why? I can continue to remain proud. No, I came to spirituality. I am very interested and I have to go and preach now to show people. This is a temptation to just to show the pride because the pride burns in the heart from inside. It manifests in the form of whatever comes from our mouth. If I have understand that this, if, but now bhakti is a very difficult yoga. Technically, bhakti is very simple, is the easiest way. Technically, there is no doubt it is easy. Why? If you look at the complicated asanas, they are very, very technically very difficult in yoga, pranayama. We for us we need not do any asanas. We just have to pick up our beats and chant. It looks quite simple. Even if person don't have hands also, you can chant without hands also. You can do it anyway. But the only thing we need to do the we can't do in bhakti is without humility. And all other processes, very important, can be done without humility. But bhakti cannot be done without humility. People do and do the rest because on other paths, it is all depending on themselves. But when it comes to bhakti, we have to depend on Krishna. Why is it is easy for people to yoga? There are many people doing nowadays, especially it became after this yoga is propagated by this government because it is a way of manifesting our ego only because they think, oh, if I put my body like this, do bend like this, do like this, people are watching. Bhakti yoga cannot be practiced without humility. Bhakti yoga begins with humility, and a person can feel something, some taste in holy name only when he has humility. Therefore, this taste is easily available in the beginning. People say, no, Proji, when I came in the beginning, I was so ecstatic. Everybody, it happens. Why? Because when we come in the beginning, we are naturally very humble because we don't know anything. And we does not understand anything. So everything around us is a very big, there is a big tilak, big shikas, big beads, and people, oh, they are all great. And then because that humility is there, immediately some sort of uh, nice taste comes. But after that, the humility goes. We understand everything, and then people they also want to do all these things. Very nice kantimala, tilak, big beads, biggest beads possible, which are there in the stall. So and Sanatan Goswami says in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that in the beginning, devotional naturally manifests itself in the form of some material attachments. And people are trying to prove or show their devotion by material things. But when a person comes at the very beginning, he is humble. So he does not understand anything and is very simple, is in an open state of heart. And it is the most valuable thing that can have. So if we have this state, we can chant mantra and call Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And Krishna reciprocates immediately. If we call, we understand. And immediately they affect. And the holy name, then we chant holy name also. But he said that The first thing a person do when we sit for chanting, before chanting the holy name, mana, uh, he must immediately immerse in his mind inside. Manas samharanam, it is said that he must make his mind pure. Due to his inner concentration, uh, what is happening is presently mind is dirty. How it is dirty? It is dirty with material desires, and which ultimately comes from the false ego, from the desire to enjoy. My false ego is my desire to enjoy here, and it develops attachment to material things. It makes my mind inattentive. When I encourage this inattention, when I do not focus on the holy name in mind, I start thinking about everything else. My attachment to external things becoming stronger and stronger. The most paradoxical way of chanting is we can chanting japa can make me much more attached to material things than I was even before. Because if I indulge in carelessness, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it creates in a mind the illusion of the importance of everything else other than bhakti. If we inattentively chant, it will make us attached to material world. This is this illusion of importance that I have so many important things and many other things that I have to do takes us further away from Krishna. This is the point what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. The question is that Krishna protects only Nishtha devotees? No, no, no. He protects who want to come to him, sincere devotees. Yeah, Ajay Mila wanted to say something and then yeah, Vishnu Dutta slept. They didn't want to hear glorification, right? Now, what happens is this is what is so subtle. We have to be very careful. That's why it is not just some. We are dealing with Krishna. We have to be very careful. How can we go to Krishna? Just not in it. This is the we are. Sometimes people are very far from Krishna when they chant. Normally, I can think of Krishna when I start chanting, and I also experience everything will come in the mind because we start immediately thinking about something else, and our mind rushes to some important events, important things in life. What should I do today? What should I speak? This that, and especially Hare Krishna, Krishna. Even the whole mantra also to hear also becomes difficult. Now, now this is a very important point. Uh, Before reading starting purport, we will. Of course, many things are there. One last point I want to stay in this topic. There are in the end we'll come back again. There are some more things I want to share in this direction of humility. It is said that mana samharana means it is like a tortoise example. What does tortoise do? They when some danger comes, they take all their limbs inside. Similarly, mind it has many tentacles and they are spread everywhere. The first thing I should do is to pull them inside. So, manas samharanam saucham. Samharanam saucham. Then the mind will become cleansed. And maunam also for cleaning. I must not speak to anyone else, neither inside nor outside. Outside I am speaking. Inside also dialogue goes on. I should not talk to someone. Mantrartha chintana means I must concentrate all my attention on the meaning of japa. The meaning of japa is very simple. Prabhupada says, I am servant of Krishna. And when a person does this, immediately Krishna comes. Immediately his heart becomes pure and calm. All other things come to by themselves. Srila Prabhupada says when a person becomes a devotee inside, he is becoming a servant. So when my ego is ego of servant, when I want to serve and I understand that the purpose of my life is to serve, that there is nothing else more valuable in serving, then it becomes easy. All other qualities will manifest themselves. We'll just read few purports and I'll add some more points to this discussion further. Here now, uh, this the conversation between Brahma and Narada ends with that chapter in the seventh, where Narada asked some questions and Brahma answered, and we are already getting the technical understanding from morning's first session. Uh, I didn't understand. Mind gives idea about the self itself. ब्रह्मणा चोदितो ब्रह्मन् गुणाख्याने गुणे गुणस्य च यस्मै यस्मै यथा प्राह नारदो देवदर्शनः. This is not in the verse. I just explained. This is from Bhagavad Gita verse 2 point. This is verse number. I think this is 12th chapter, 8th verse, which I described. Bhagavad Gita 12.8. Now, here the point what is discussed is Narada and Brahma's conversation ends, and again Parikshit Maharaj asks further questions to Sukadeva Goswami. And he asked that Parikshit inquires from Sukadeva, how did Narada Muni, who hearers are as fortunate as those instructed by Lord Brahma, explain the transcendental qualities of Lord, who is without material qualities, and before whom did he speak? Now these are further questions Parikshit Maharaj is going to ask Sukadeva Goswami. This is the most important conversation. Devarshi Narada was directly instructed by Brahmaji, who was also directly instructed by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the instructions imparted by Narada to his various disciples are as good as those of the Supreme Lord. That is the way of understanding Vedic knowledge. It comes down from the Lord by disciplic succession, and this transcendental knowledge, Vedic knowledge, it comes down from the Lord by disciplic succession, and this transcendental knowledge is attributed to the world by their descending process. There is no chance, however, to receive the Vedic knowledge from mental speculators. Therefore, wherever Narada Muni goes, he represents himself as authorized by the Lord, and his appearance is as good as that of the Supreme Lord. Similarly, in the disciplic succession, which strictly follows the transcendental instruction, is the bona fide chain of disciplic succession. And the test for such bona fide spiritual master is that there should be no difference between the instructions of the Lord originally imparted to his devotees and then which imparted by the authority of the line of disciplic succession. Another proof is that there will be change in the people's heart when they hear from proper person. That is the proof of bona fide instructions. If we hear any other people speaking, if they are not speaking from the authority and they are not speaking and they don't have devotion, it will not touch our heart, it will not make any difference. Even that if I may not, my heart may not be pure, but if I am repeating it as it is, then also it will have effect because I am not adding anything. I'm just repeating what I heard and I'm repeating from the authority. That will also have effect. That is what is our as such. Many of them we are told to preach, but we know some of us our hearts are not completely cleansed. But how can it have effect? We are just repeating. That is not our message. And now whatever then it will appear also that the Lord excited prior to exited prior to the material creation. Therefore, his transcendental name, qualities, etc., do not represent any material quality. Whenever, therefore, the Lord is described as aguna or without any qualities, it does not mean that he has no qualities. but that he has no material qualities such as mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, as the conditioned souls have. He is transcendental to all material conceptions, and thus he is described as a good. And then etadviditumichhami tattvam tattvavidambara hareradbhuta viryasya katha loka samangala sumangala. It says, the king said, I wish to know narrations connecting concerning the Lord, who possesses wonderful potencies, are certainly auspicious for living beings in all planets. Anything about the Lord is always auspicious. It may be something material, it looks like material, Lord's creation and all, but it is also very auspicious to hear because directly connected. This is a very important point. What is this canto explaining? That now I am not able to see Lord, but this canto is explaining, Array, Lord is there everywhere. Around you is the Lord only. We are always in touch with Him. We are all can always serve Him. We can always feel Him. Because all this creation, what you are seeing, is the Supreme Lord only. It is His manifestation. That means we are never separated from the Lord. I want to serve Krishna, then you start serving with this creation. You start relating with it in a personal way. You start serving here. In that way, you are directly serving the Supreme Lord only. Brahmaji, he didn't get ingredients, and then he is taking from the Supreme Lord. So all these are ingredients of the Lord. So whatever I am doing, I am always connected to the Lord. So this is what is this canto is explaining. At the end of this canto, we should get this understanding clearly that this is I am actually with the Supreme Lord all the time because it is Him only everywhere. There is nothing beyond Him. He is everywhere. I am always with Him. So there is a question of separation. This is the understanding we should get. This is Brahman realization in one way that I'm always with the Lord only because everything is His only. So we can feel that presence and always render that service. And this, if we are not having this understanding, then we miss the point. The point, what is the realization we should get after the second canto? Why all this explanation is given? Basically, to make us understand you cannot be separated from the Lord. All the time we are with Him only because everything is His only. This is the realization we should get. Like when Bali Maharaj, he with his devotion, he could see Vamanadev expanding and he could see he has spread his legs everywhere. And then he understood. Now it is not just in a physical form. He could see in a what is the first name? Vishnu Sahasranama, Lord is called Vishwam. That means he is the material creation. Because of Bali Maharaj's devotion, everybody could see that form of Lord where he is the Vishwam. In that way, we should also get this realization of we may not get realization, at least understanding we should get that everything is Supreme Lord only. So our devotion, our love for Krishna will increase. Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narrations of the activities of Supreme Lord, is auspicious for all living beings reside in every planet. One who takes it as belonging to a particular sect is certainly mistaken. Srimad Bhagavatam is certainly very dear scripture for all devotees of Lord, but it is auspicious even for non-devotees also because it explains that even the non-devotees hovering under the spell of material energy can be delivered from such clutches if they hear the narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam with devotion and attention from the right source representing the Lord by disciplic session. This is a hope for us. At least for me, hope. Even non-devotees. Even if I hear, I will also get purified. And Katha Mahabhaga Yata Ham Akhilatmani Krishne Nivishya Nisangam Manas Tyakshe Kalevaram. It says that, oh, greatly fortunate Sukhdev, please continue narrating Srimad Bhagavatam so that I can place my mind upon the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna, being completely free from material qualities, thus relinquish this body. He is telling you narrate. Now here Sukadeva Goswami is not talking about Krishna's pastime. He is talking about creation only. And for that also what Parikshit Maharaj is telling, I can place my mind on Supreme Lord, Supreme Soul, upon the Supreme Soul Krishna. By hearing this narration also, we can place our heart to Krishna. Even the creation pastime also will help us. If I see now water, if I'm seeing sun now, if I'm seeing earth now, if I'm seeing any ingredients, immediately I can relate. Oh, this all came from Krishna only. So it is such a realization, and it makes a life very blissful experience. I'm always with Krishna. So nice. Prabhupada writes, to be fully engaged in hearing the transcendental narration described in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam means to constantly associate with the Supreme Soul Krishna. You see, this is not about 10th canto, this second canto only. Hearing the narration means constantly we are associating. This understanding comes, I am constantly associated. And to constantly associate with the Supreme Lord Krishna means to be liberated from the qualities of matter. Lord Krishna, that means that is called Brahman realization. What is Brahman? To be liberated from material qualities. Lord Krishna is like the sun, and material contamination is like darkness. As the presence of sun dissipates darkness, constant engagement in the association of Lord Sri Krishna frees from the contamination of material qualities. Contamination by the material quality is the cause of repeated birth, death, and liberation from material quality is transcendental. This is the problem for all the living entities. What happens? Because we identify with matter and matter is dead, we always die. If we are identifying as spirit soul, spirit never dies, so we never die. Why we die? Because our identification is with matter and matter is dead. That's why we have to die. That is the point. Maharaj Parikshit was now a realized soul by this secret of liberation through the grace of Sukadeva Goswami. But the later had informed the king that the highest perfection of life is to remembrance of Narayan, the type of life. Etavan Sankhya Gabhyam Suddharma Paranishteya Janma Lava Parapumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. Remembrance of Lord at the end of life. Maharaj Parikshit was destined to give up his body at the end of 7 days, and thus he decided to continue remembering the Lord by his association with the topics of Bhagavatam, and thus to quit his body in full consciousness of the presence of Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Soul. Prabhupada writes another important point: the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam professional men is different from transcendental hearing of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was a soul realized in the absolute truth. Sri Krishna, the personality of God. The fruit of materialistic are not realized souls. They want to derive some material benefit from their so-called hearing of Bhagavatam. This is the difference. They want to get something from Bhagavatam. They pay for Bhagavatam, at least they want name. That I conducted Bhagavad Sapta. I spent so many lakhs of rupees. I conducted. I know one friend of mine. He's a devotee. But every year he conducts Bhagavad Sapta and he always tells, till now I did these many Bhagavad Saptas. He practices, but his motive is not correct initially. No, he will slowly improve. Krishna is merciful. He is now associating. Before coming to ISKCON also, he used to conduct Bhagavad Sapta. Now he came, joined ISKCON, started chanting. Now also he conducts Bhagavad Sapta. Now he conducts with ISKCON devotees Bhagavad Sapta. Undoubtedly, such an audience, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the professional men, can derive some material benefit as they desire, but that does not mean that such a presence of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for a week is as good as hearing man. So they get material benefit only. That means it's a pious credit, some pious entertainment. And they get pious credit. It's also a sacrifice. They are sacrificing their time hearing Bhagavatam. Even though the speaker is not so qualified, but they have sacrificed. Any sacrifice will lead to benefit. Even it is sacrifice for Chandi, it is sacrifice for any other demigod. Sacrifice means there is a result for it. The system is created like that. You may not get the highest benefit. If you do sacrifice for Vishnu, that is the highest. But other sacrifices also lead results, and people get material benefit and they continue doing that sacrifices. I did this yajna, I did this homa, and I got benefited. Continue doing it. And they don't know that there can be something higher benefit also. They are just interested in their material benefit. Prabhupada writes, it is a duty of a saint, it is a duty of the saint to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a self-realized soul and not to depute by professional men. One should continue to hear until the end of one's life so that one can actually have the transcendental association of Lord and thus be liberated simply by hearing Srimad. Why it should be, what is the most appreciated thing is we have to read from Acharyas and we have to read from Prabhupada as it is. That it's sufficient. No need to go big things. We just need the process is simple. We think some masala should be there. Then we go here, there searching. If we understand, it is very simple that whatever acharyas gave, let me try, even though the taste is not there initially, I just have to stick to that much only. That will give taste slowly. Initially, it is quite same thing, looks like same thing. It's of course not same thing. Second thing is that is sufficient. No need to go for searching so many other things. Of course, some entertainment is needed in life. You can go for some lecture and come back. But we should know this should be the basis. This should be done every day. Sometimes, see, if we have rice dal sabji, we can have some little achar or some papad. But we can have only papad, only achar as meals, right? Similarly, some lectures which give some fun and entertainment, we can have it. But ultimately, our main basis, the main rice, dal, chapati should be like the commentaries from Acharyas and Prabhupada purports. Maharaj Parikshit has already given up all his connections with his kingdom and family and more uh, the most attractive features of materialism, but still he was conscious of his material body. He wanted to be free from such bondage also by the constant association of the Lord. For him, there is no problem. And then what Maharaj Parikshit further saying, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Grinantascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. This is a very famous shloka. See, Kalena Ati Dirgena. That means it will not take much time. Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Lord will reside in the heart. When Shinmata Shraddhaya Nityam. If we are hearing with Shraddha regularly, Granantasya Swacheshtitam. Serious by one's endeavor. Prabhupada writes the translation persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and always taking the matter very seriously. Swacheshritam. They are very serious. Then Kalena na atidirgena. Not it will not take much time. The Lord will manifest in the heart. Even though Jito api ajito. Ajito api jito. That's why sthane sthita satigatam tanuvan manobhi yah prayaso ajito apijito. So even though he is ajita, he cannot be conquered. He can be conquered when we sthane sthita satigatam. Just be wherever you are regularly here. And this is what here also it is told. You just Parikshit Maharaj is also telling. If somebody is very sincerely hearing, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam, Grinancha Swacheshtita, and taking the matter very seriously. These are the two qualifications he gives. And Prabhupada is giving nice purport in this. Cheap devotees or materialistic devotees of Lord are very much desirous to see the Lord personally without meeting the requisite qualifications. Such third grade devotees should know well that material attachments and seeing the Lord face to face cannot go together. It is not such a mechanical process that the professional Bhagavatam reciters can do the job on behalf of a third grade materialistic pseudo devotee. Prabhupada is so heavy. he's, he's smashing like anything. Because so many Bhagavad Kathakas, now it is very big. The professional men are useless in this connection because they have neither self-realization nor interested in the liberation of the audience. They are simply interested in maintaining the material establishment of family attachment and earning some material benefit out of the profession. That's all. Maharaj Parikshit, that means if somebody is taking money for speaking Bhagavatam, no need to listen from him because it is all he is interested in money. He cannot present pure Bhagavatam, not possible. Sometimes for courses in ISKCON we charge not to make money, but to see that people are serious. If they pay, they'll attend. That is the reason we charge, not to make money out of it. To increase the commitment of people. If they pay If they paid 1,000, 2,000 rupees, then they'll say, I paid, let me hear. That is the reason we charge. Otherwise, for us, uh, we should not hear. There is no point in hearing from people who have charged. They charge 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees for Bhagavad. It is just some entertainment. It will not change the heart, not possible. Prabhupada is very clearly telling. Maharaj Parikshit had no more than 7 days to live, but for others, Maharaj Parikshit personally recommends that one hears Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Nityam, always by one's own effort and with serious devotion also. That will help one to see the Lord Sri Krishna manifest in one's heart within no time. The pseudo devotee, however, is very anxious to see the Lord according to his whims, not making any serious efforts to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly with a detachment from material benefit. That is not the way recommended in the authority by authority like Maharaj Parikshit. This is the point here. Like the recommendation is there. If we are serious, then we will not go for entertainment. We go for the substance. People, if they are not serious, they go for entertainment. They go for these Bhagavad Sattas because there is nice entertainment there, pious entertainment. And if they are serious, they will not look for entertainment. They want what is real substance of Bhagavatam. They really want to know Bhagavatam. प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति समलं कृष्ण सलिलस्यायताशरद. This is a very famous shloka. It says Pravishtakarnarandrena. Once he enters into the ear of this Bhagavatam, Swanam, according to one's liberated position, Bhava, constitutional relationship. It is said that the sound incarnation of Krishna, the Supreme Soul, enters into the heart of self-realized devotee, sit on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of mental association such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts like autumnal rain upon pool of muddy water. These are very nice purports. I will take more on this tomorrow also. Because I don't want to skip this such wonderful shlokas. We can have some more discussion on it tomorrow, but we'll read some today, and I will just complete the topic I started about humility in the beginning. It is said that a single pure devotee of Lord can deliver all the fallen souls of the world. Thus, one who is actually in the confidence of a pure devotee like Narada or Sukadeva Goswami, and thus is empowered by one spiritual master as Narada was by Brahma, can not only deliver himself from the clutches of Maya or illusion, but can deliver the whole world by his pure and empowered devotional strength. The comparison of the autumnal rain that falls on muddy reservoir of water is very appropriate. During the rainy season, all the water of the rivers become muddy. But in the month of September, October, during the autumnal season, when there is slight rainfall, the muddy waters of the rivers all over the world become at once clean by addition of some chemical. A small reservoir of water like that of a metropolitan water work tank can be cleaned. But by such a tiny effort, it is not possible to clean up all the reservoirs of water like the rivers. Powerful, a powerful pure devotee of Lord, however, can deliver not only his personal self but also many others in his association. That we can see with Prabhupada, how he has cleaned everyone. Prabhupada, this is a nice point. In other words, the cleaning of the polluted heart by other methods, like the culture of empirical knowledge or mystic gymnastics, can simply cleanse one's own heart. But devotional service of Lord is so powerful that it can clean the heart of people in general. By the devotional service of the pure, empowered devotee, a true representative of the Lord like Narada, Sukadeva Goswami, Lord Chaitanya, the six Goswamis, etc., can deliver all the people. And another nice point, Prabhupada, by sincere efforts of to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, one realizes his constitutional relationship with the Lord in the transcendental humor of servitude, parentalhood, and all. And last para says, purification of heart by culture of knowledge or mystic yoga may be all right for the time being for an individual person, but it is like the cleansing of small quantity of stagnant water by chemical process. Such clarification of water stand for the time being, and the sediment settle down. But by a slight agitation, everything becomes muddy. The idea that the devotional service to Lord is the only method of cleansing the heart for good, whereas other methods may be superficially good for some time, but the risk of becoming dirty again ag- by agitation of mind. So this is another problem. We'll complete our discussion topic which we started about humility. Few more points I want to add to it. That how does this humility appear? From where? What is the beginning? Prabhupada says that it is acharyopasanam. All other qualities, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, that is simplicity, are highly dependent on this first quality. What is that? That in order to practice this quality, I must have acharyopasanam. I need to, upasana means to bring near. I have to sit next to the Guru. Near to his mind does not mean physically. That means now should immediately take a flight and go wherever you go. No, it is not physical. It may be physical is also good. The real is that we may be very far, but still we can be very close. There are many people who stayed with Prabhupada 24 hours, but after Prabhupada left, they also left. But some people, they were never close to Prabhupada, yet they are remained very faithful to him. Why? Because they had this first quality of humility. This means that I do something not for my own sake, but I do something for the sake of my teacher. That is the science of, that is the meaning of service. Like people have this philosophy now, Ritvik philosophy, which says that there is only one Guru, Srila Prabhupada. There are no more gurus. It is then they start this back to Prabhupada. Actually, it is a concentrated Vaishnava Aparadh book. Page after page, the possible gossip is published, rumors and Vaishnava Aparadhs, because there is no desire to serve. There is one person in Russia, he says, he has a good phrase. They say that there are people who love their guru after his death. Their love for spiritual master becomes manifest and becomes stronger when he leaves this body. Because now there is nobody to prevent them to do whatever they want. They can do whatever, and nobody is there to ask. So Ritvik philosophy is also like that, because they are very fond of spiritual master, and mm, because they can do, they don't want any living guru, because it will ultimately hurt our false ego. And now it can swell more and more. Nobody is there to hurt it. And that's actually what happened. The person who started this, well, not started, some of the people who joined, they were very much hurt by their guru. That's why they joined there. But a real, genuine, uncreated spiritual life, if you want, if you do not want to ruin, if you want that spiritual life should be very deeper, it should begin with humility. And Srila Rupa Goswami also first says, Guru Padashray and Guru Padashray Tasma. If one want to understand something in spiritual life, the first thing is accept a good spiritual master, and then we start doing. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantite jnanam jnanastatvadarshinaha. This is how we learn from it. We want to understand truth. If we do not want anything else, then we want to reach to the end. Then the fair spiritual path. This is actually to surrendering. Now the humility is in all levels, at the level of body, mind, and our words, both at the level. First, we should bow our head. It is sometimes difficult also to bow the head. But we should start with the physical. On physical level, I should show humility. It is quite easy also. After some time, we become used to it. Then at the level of speech, that means I should ask questions. What happens is pride prevents us from asking questions. Uh, There are different ways to ask questions, like in a challenging way and all these things. But humility is when we ask something questions, we are telling that I don't know much. That is how we are only accepting that I am. This is a expression of humility. Ask questions. I don't understand. I don't like Sanatan Goswami. He, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, "Ke ami kene ame jara tara patre." He says, "People call me Pandit, but I don't know who am I and why am I in this situation." People glorify me as an expert in scriptures. They say I know many languages and all, but I don't know who am I. This is what is the knowledge starts with. When I understand that my identity, we should. What is my identity? That is the most difficult part. Any questions, comments till now? Hope you are all understanding what I want to express. I'll add few more points. We have 2 3 more minutes. you can you can bear for some more time. I'll leave you early only. Because love means that I do not want, but I want to serve. This is a difference. When I like Radhanath Maharaj, what is the difference between like and love? Maharaj said, if you like a rose, you want to pluck it. If you love the rose, you water it. And that means love means to serve. This is the main difference. When I think about what he wants, and sometime one person was telling that he was attracted to a girl. Then he meditated what she likes the best, and he meditated which flower she will like, and he went and he brought the flower she liked, and he gave her, and she was so happy. She said, "Oh, how could you understand? How could you guess?" And then he said, "When I saw that happiness in her eyes, and I was so happy." Now, what is the point here? See, he didn't get anything. What was his happiness? When he saw the person whom he served happy, he became happy. So that is the highest happiness we should achieve. Like, I don't want to be happy, but I want to see the person whom I am serving happy. My spiritual master should be happy. Esya Prasada, when I am seeing that person whom I am serving is happy, that is my happiness. That's what is humility. Now, seva means that he will like what I am doing or not. I should not hurt. Very often people try to push each other and serve. How a devotee hides himself under mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, we want recognition. We want to people appreciate how humble I am, how sincere I am, how honest I am. So I want that appreciation. So that is the guys. That is how mode of goodness is deceiving in one way. And like service means we have to assist. It's not that I should be the top. I should not push. Like Prabhupada gives example of two sons who are massaging the feet of the father. They want to do the best, and then but they started giving trouble to the father by pinching the other leg. And Krishna tells that uh, that I should take my spiritual master very seriously, and means I need to render service to him and develop that relation with him. How to overcome the feeling of recognition while we are serving? Just by understanding that I am servant. Nobody need to recognize. We are happy doing that service. When I see that other people are happy with that service I am doing, that will make me happy. Then I don't want any recognition. Of course, I am also not free from it. It is theoretical only for me. But I am telling, say if I am doing service and the people whom I am giving class and you are happy with the class I am giving. That should make me happy. Not that how many people are appreciating. Nobody writes anything to me that they are happy with my service. I don't want to be recognized. I want that I want to do service and the people should be happy whom I am serving. That is my happiness. It should be like this. And but recognition is always that hankering is there, and undoubtedly it is there. It will take time to go, but we at least know that this is wrong. Then slowly we'll come out of it. Previously, I was not knowing that this is wrong. Now, at least I know that I should not hanker for this recognition. I should not be satisfied by the glorifications comes from others. I know this is wrong. At least by knowing, slowly we'll try to avoid it whenever possible, not all the time. Somebody is glorifying, you say, yes, bro, at least you recognize me after so many times. At least there is some sincere fellow who recognized my greatness. So this type of mentality is there, but we will slowly, like it is not actually some external change. Like what happens is when we get something, unfortunately, we have very strong past life habits, and we think that spiritual life is some kind of change. Like I had to change my clothes, smear some paints on my forehead, and but it is not like that. Spiritual life is actually cardinal revolution in our life. It's not just mascara. It is a complete change in our value system only. All this is valuable. That was valuable before has no value now. Everything that is valuable, we come here only to support each other on this difficult path. We have to accept values that others do not value, especially in material life. This is very important. And Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the very important lesson. We'll end with this important point that tells that very beginning that we read Srimad Bhagavatam, not really the Vedanta Sutra. This is the universal form. Why we are reading universal form? Because everything in this world is Krishna only. All that we see that surrounds us is a manifestation of Krishna. That there is no need to go far from Krishna. That there is no need to wait until he appears. He has already appeared. He is already here in front of us, and he has already before us and in different forms. Our desire to worship and serve him is manifested in the sincerity of our desire. If we want to serve, we can serve his manifestation and surrender to it. This is the basis of our Vedic philosophy. This is the beginning of spiritual life. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll be having karma, how to burn karma at 9 o'clock. If somebody is interested, they can join. Or we'll meet on Monday with Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.